Hello and welcome. My name is Laura Presnell and I'm excited to be sharing in this video with you all about what is cycle syncing. So you may have heard this term or not, but what cycle syncing is a natural way for women in their reproductive years to be able to balance their hormones. So what it means is it's a lifestyle practice and it's a functional medicine concept of taking your food, your fitness, your self-care, your work habits, anything that you have going on throughout the day, and matching it to one of the 4 monthly phases that your body clicks through every single month. And what that naturally does is help de-stress your body, give you more energy. It basically aligns how your hormones are naturally fluctuating throughout the month to optimize everything that you want in your life. So cycle syncing is for women who are actually having their period. So anyone, in our teenage years up through our 40s before we hit perimenopause and menopause, those are the women who can do cycle syncing. So cycle syncing is also a natural way to balance our hormones. So being on the IUD or the birth control pill can get in the way of actually being able to balance your hormones naturally, because you're essentially masking other parts of your body by being on these types of medication. Especially with the pill, your body's not ovulating and you're not actually having real periods. So if you're on the birth control pill, you're not going to be able to click into those phases. And I'll get into what those are in a moment, because your body's essentially not having those phases. Your body is muted while you're on that medication as a way to not get pregnant. So each woman has the right to choose of if she wants to use birth control or not. I personally found that I did not feel good on the birth control pill. I actually never tried the IUD, but I've had clients who have been on the IUD and loved it. So it really just depends on what is the best for you. But what's interesting about our hormonal health is women, we obviously know, can get pregnant and we can have our period, where men can't. So men are on a 24-hour cycle, which means that at the end of each day, their hormones reset, where women are on a monthly cycle, which means it takes an entire month for our body's hormones to reset. So any changes you make in your body, you then have to go through all 4 of your monthly phases for your hormones to reset and for you to see any sort of slight improvement. So I like to tell my clients, if you were going to do a weight loss challenge with a man, in 1 week, his body would have gone through 7 cycles, and you might notice that he notices fitness and weight loss results much quicker. Whereas you go through the same week, you've only gone through 7 days. You might have gone through only 1 cycle phase, which means if he's gone through 7 cycles because they're in a 24-hour cycle, you then, in terms of having the same hormone reset, would have to go through 7 months to be able to have that same reset and essentially maybe be able to see the same gains as he did. So it's really about honoring our bodies, recognizing how they work, how they function, and how we can live in relationship to it. And in the 4 videos I have about your cycles, I'm going to teach you how to align your life and your food and your fitness to each week to help you optimize a little bit more and find more benefits and help you naturally balance your hormones. So cycle syncing, as I mentioned, is a way to naturally balance your body. So we have 4 phases that our body goes through. So day number 1 is your menstrual phase, and that is the first day that your cycle begins, and it's when your period starts. So the first day you notice a full bleed, that is day number 1 of your cycle. So the first phase is your menstrual phase, and then after your period is over, you go through the follicular phase, which is the week after your period. And then you go into ovulation, which most women know as the time of the month we can get pregnant. And then the last phase is the luteal phase, which is the time before our period starts. And most women might notice some PMS symptoms. So the benefits that you can get from cycle syncing, and I started cycle syncing in 2016. I had what's called PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is a more intense version of PMS. So basically take your mood, your energy lows, your bloating, acne, headaches, like I had all the symptoms at a very severe rate. So PMDD is basically like PMS times 10. So I started cycle syncing as a way to try to balance my body. And I noticed that I no longer had PMS. I didn't have the bloating before my period. I didn't have headaches. I didn't have acne breakouts. I noticed my weight stabilized, because when you're holding on to water retention, it can kind of feel like you're gaining and losing the same 5 to 10 pounds of water weight. So those are just some of the benefits that you can get from cycle syncing, is getting rid of those PMS symptoms. Other ones you'll notice is getting rid of menstrual cramps and any sort of like pain that you might be associated with having your period. And then you will notice that your energy skyrockets because basically you are lowering your stress hormones, you are optimizing your cycle hormones to be able to really thrive in your life, and your energy naturally goes up. And you will also start crushing your productivity either with your fitness or work, social life. Like you'll just be able to plan everything so much better. And what I've loved about cycle syncing, especially the benefits that it provides women, is that it puts us back in alignment with our bodies. So you might notice some weeks like, hey, I just have a harder time getting up in the morning, but I'm really challenging myself to go to this early workout class and I just can't do it. But last week I was able to do it no problem and I crushed it. Like, what's going on? Do I just need more caffeine? We can kind of have these thoughts that make us feel less than in our body. And it's really, you're just not aligned to what you're trying to do with your cycle phase, because each one has its own feel and it'll bring up different energy and emotions. And that's what I'm going to teach you in the 4 phases about your cycle. So it's super exciting to learn. I'm very excited for you to be here. And then just to keep in the back of your mind, any challenges that can come up with cycle syncing is certainly if you are on the pill or the IUD, this can definitely like hinder your efforts and you won't be able to feel it as much. And then if your stress hormones are too high, you're going to definitely notice feeling more stressed at the time of the month where you're actually supposed to feel calm and relaxed. So these are some emotional components that I will share with you to kind of come up against any challenges that you might notice. And then if your hormones are unbalanced, this is a great place to start because it's going to help you balance them. But as you're moving forward through this, it can just feel challenging because your body's not balanced yet. So it's a time of growth, a type of personal development. I truly see cycle syncing as like next step personal growth because it really challenges you to sit with yourself, sit with your emotions, sit with what's working for your life and what isn't, because you're going to notice this emotional resistance, and that's your body talking to you. So our cycle is here for a reason. Mother Nature made it so we can reproduce, and then obviously we have our period because we're not pregnant, and then it's beneficial if you want to increase your fertility. That's another benefit of cycle syncing, is it does increase your fertility for when you want to have children, but just on an everyday foundational level for women anyway. We want our fertility to be boosted because that gives us more energy. It gives us more thought clarity in our brain and our mental thoughts. It gives us more emotional stability. It gives us more alignment with just our feminine energy and how we are as women and how we want to show up in the world. And cycle syncing helps you to do that. So I'm here to help guide you on your journey of learning what cycle syncing is, diving into the 4 phases of your monthly cycle, and helping you with some strategic food and fitness and lifestyle tips to start incorporating into your life. So thank you for joining me, and let's get started.